that, let's say a bag should be worth like, let's say 50,000 naira. I took it to the market and these people were pricing it for like 5k. And I had 4 bags.
Today's episode is really special because we're having a discussion with farmers themselves. The questions: do farmers actually earn less than the middlemen who resell their produce? So we're going to be having a discussion with all the farmers we have here on ground. Welcome to today's podcast on farmers versus middlemen. So today we are going to be having a real discussion with farmers themselves on the topic, who earns more? Is it the farmer that earns more or the middleman? We're going to be finding out from our guests on ground.
My name is Badr Rashid, aka RSD of all bee farms. I am a fish farmer.
My name is Apoduto Innocent. I'm a tech farming expert with specialty in tomato and co-founder of Veggie Hub Limited.
Ibrahim Ogunjo is my name. Farmer. I farm alone on the side.
My name is Iram Osai. I am a farmer that is into vegetable production.
So let's get into this discussion. Do you think middlemen earn more than farmers, or it's the other way around? So I'd like Farmer Ibrahim to answer that.
Thank you very much. At first, I will start by saying it's always been it has always been a challenge. This thing about farmers and it does not start today. It has always been like that over the years. Farmers are always, how do I say now? They are always feeling cheat, like that cheat thing. It's always on the part of the farmer, and it is because if you look at the whole value chain of agriculture, the production part is more like the hardest. Because that poses a whole lot of risk. It is so risky. My guy is doing fish. You can put your fish in your pond, you come back the next day and start seeing stories. If you are a middleman, all the cycles of your this thing, most of the time, it's not always more than one.
Just buying and selling.
They come to your farm, take all your produce, and so the risk involved most of the times is always associated with time. So the person that has the produce for the longer time is always at more risk. And if you look at other businesses, you know that one of the things that bring money is the risk. So the capacity of a man to take risk is supposed to give you more money, but it is on the other way around. You take the whole risk. At the end of the day, somebody will just come to your farm, take all your produce, and so I've had times in my farm that I was selling onions, a bag of onions for 15 naira. If the middleman will come, they will take that onions by 15 naira and go and sell it to them. So now the 15 naira is supposed to be my own cost of production and profit. The 15 naira for you too is your own cost of production and profit. So I've labored for over 6 months. We are laboring for 6 hours. And we are having the same cost of production and the same profits. That's 15 and to share. So it's obvious that on the high side, the profit is for you, and a low part of the profit is for me. So it has always been a challenging thing. For me, I believe it's always a disadvantage to the farmer. That middleman thing. And it's hard because you want to sell your produce, you don't sell it. You get spoiled for someone who are doing perishable goods.
Exactly.
So it's always a challenge. I believe middlemen get to make more of the profits.
The middleman tend to earn more than the farmer, although the both has their risk and reward. The farmer takes the raw risk, the middleman takes strategic risk. He knows how to negotiate his way, he knows the time and all of that. But the farmer, like my colleague has said, they sell too early because we've taken a lot of risk that most times when it comes to post-harvest losses, you don't want to see your reward goes to waste.
Yes.
So for that reason, you just sell to the highest bidder at that moment. And the highest bidder you are selling to may have a premium market to become a middleman to himself. That depends on his ability to network, negotiate, and use the timing to his own advantage. That way you have to factor into another thing that is a cause of this, that middleman tend to rape the farmer. I would say rape is because we lack facilities. So when we harvest, and you know when it's due, your crop is due for harvest, there's no way you can prolong the harvest, otherwise you look run at loss. So for that reason, you have to sell. But if you have storage facility or you look for other innovative ways
Yeah.
where you can turn your raw material into finished goods, then the farmer can become the middleman and be as profitable as the middleman. And I will say this, what isn't in creation is in control, and control is in strategy. The strategy is what the middleman owns. So if the farmer can own that strategy, definitely can earn like the middleman.
So please, as a fish farmer, what do you think about this?
Well,
In
I,
a brief-
well, I feel like the farmer tends to have more pressure. For example, I farm in a farm cluster. Now, when this middleman comes over to our farm, they'll be like, they have to pressure you. They know your weakness. You understand? They now have to pressure you that, okay, we want to travel, we want to do this, we want to do that. Unfortunately, because I want to sell, I want to quickly sell, you are going to the fish again. They will take the fish from me. Sometimes they might not pay. Hoping that when they get to their destination, they'll pay. And when they get there, they will tell me, okay, the fish has problem. But when they know like I'm on pressure, you just buy it.
Um, to also add to what they've said, I feel like every farmer should have like a market before they even go into production. So that is very, very, very important. You cannot start production and you don't have a market, you don't know you want to sell to, you are just doing it and you have the mindset that okay, at the end of the day, I'll take it to the market and they will buy, they will sell, or I will sell, they will buy. If you do it like that, oh Bob, it's not going to be funny. So it's always, I used to advise people that want to go into crop production that if you want to go into it, have a market. If it will take you like 6 months to have a market, do it before you go into crop production. That way you get to get some profit and avoid like this middleman situation. Because at the end of the day, once you don't have a market for it, you definitely have to go back to the middleman. And the middleman will see that as an advantage. It's business, you understand? So always have a market before you go into production. And try to also be the middleman. Try to be the salesman. Try to carry your produce in your head, advertise, promote yourself.
So, as a farmer, have you ever felt cheated? Because you, like we've all said, you do the hard work, you produce, and then at the end of the day, we sell to someone, and you are now hearing the price that this person sold your produce, and I'm like,
Hmm.
Yeah.
okay, so
And down.
Like I have like this like in 2023 when I started, I cannot forget that year. I remembered taking my produce to the market, this popular market in Benin. I don't want to mention the name. And I put about like 5 crates of habanero peppers in a sack. And that, let's say a bag should be worth like, let's say 50,000 naira. And I took it to the market and these people, they were pricing it for like 5K. And I had 4 bags. And I had 4 bags. And I was, that feeling of, what is this? 5K for 1 bag. And I have 4 bags. And time is going because those peppers, post harvest stress and all that, transport and the whole thing. And I was like, okay, let me take it to another market. And those ones priced it at a very, the rate was not even funny, 3K. So at the end of the day, I just had to sell so that I can quickly get my money. And I did not even get like my transportation cost or fee. That's to tell you how crazy it was at that time. So I feel like it's part of the process. Um, and as a farmer, as time goes, you get to find a way to avoid things like that. And that's why I was keen on having market before you start production. So if I had had a market as at that time, once I'm done harvesting, I'll just take my produce to person instead of going to look for buyers that's going to buy my habanero pepper. So yeah, it's part of the procedures. You feel like that, but at the end of the day, you still need to move on. So yeah,
So I think there was a time that was probably last year. You see these market women, they can they can be very cunning.
devilish.
Like as a fish farmer, okay, you've already negotiated with them. You were talking about having your market.
Yeah,
We already had our market. Okay, when we come to buy our fish, fine. There was no even middleman. So we then called them. I think we wanted to sell probably like 5 tons of catfish there. So when these women came, we even entertained them. We set pumping machine to the ponds and everything. So once we reduce water, they already know that when our fish are stressed. Because if you're not crazy in this industry, they will just turn it to money.
you have to.
Exactly.
You have
Honestly. So when we reduce our water, our fish will be stressed. So we now have option because sometimes we can incur losses if we decide to like raise the water back. So now once we reduce, they'll be like, we already agreed on a fixed price before they came. But when they came, they'll now be like, okay, the person that wants to give me money in bank. These stories that you don't even want to hear. So it can actually be very, very crazy in this space. They would cheat you. Like they will do it to your face.
Legit.
As a starter, you either be the cheat or you have been cheated on.
Yeah.
So for your first day, every one of us have our own history, or let's say your past. That when we share, we feel we want to. In fact, if there's an opportunity for us to share things, we cry. But it's an experience
Yeah.
of which we have all learned from that experience. We learn one or two things that have forged us ahead and take us to where we are. But I feel the solution to this is we just have to start seeing what we do as a business, not as just end up cultivating or as a farmer, but we have to see it as a business and incorporate it as a business. Because even if you look for your markets, I can bet you if you see 10 people that want to take your produce or tell you bring it, you end up having one person that will buy at a ridiculous price.
Yeah.
Another thing that is affecting these things to me, I feel is consistency. The middleman is consistent. If you don't have, you can go to
other markets.
If you don't, I don't have, can move. So it's consistent with the market flow. But I, the producer, is once in a while. For instance, I produce tomatoes once in 6 months, max 6 months. In another 6 months, I might not have. But if I have consistent way of supplying the market, then I can easily cut off the middleman. So for us to have a solution, we have to come as a cluster.
Yeah.
Where if I don't have, he has something to offer. If he doesn't, he has something. That way, we won't be cheated.
So I think I have something to add to what you just said. As regards this business thing, as you said, we should all take this thing as a business.
Yeah.
Market is always a problem for everybody if you are into business. You want to make sales. Sales is the real deal. If you are not making sales, you are not making money. No matter how you are. So if you reason this thing as a system, you know that as a business, you know that you have to make a system to make your business work. So it means that if you are just in your farm, producing, without thinking of how you will sell. I mean, you are relying on a middleman to sell. Sometimes it can be an advantage, but most of the times it is nonsense because if you see production is a whole lot of stress on its own. Market is a whole lot of stress on its own. It's hard for a single person as a farmer to combine the two. That is why they say our fathers die and break their home because the only thing they are focusing on is
Production. Yeah.
nobody is reasoning market and because they are not thinking business wise. So if you think as a business, you create a system that will ensure that something is on for you in marketing. So one thing I did when I started producing content in our community is that as part of my team members, there are people that will market and sell. We actually cut out middleman completely. We are selling directly to the consumers. So there are systems in place. We all know the stress that we pass through during this whole production. And we know that if we are to sell to somebody, the person will sell, it will still be a good price for the consumer, but it will be less price for us. So the profit that the middleman would have gained, what if we work on the market ourselves and we push it out? So from the foundation of our production, we have a team that handles marketing. So as we start production and we start harvest, those people knows that this is our work and we will push it out. So I feel that as farmers, if you don't want to suffer, just factor in the system, marketing being part of your system. It seems like a business person and not only somebody.
Really, our farmers have really spoke well, and we hope that they're learning from everything they have said. So we're going to be moving to the third question: who controls the market? Okay, logistic and storage rules. Let's not forget logistic. How many of us have low cost crops? Sorry, how many of us have lost crops due to transportation, like transportation issues or lack of cold storage? Do you think if farmers had better logistic, would keep more of the profits? So the issue of logistics, what do you think about it?
Okay, I feel like me as a catfish producer, logistics is very, very crucial to us. And one of the major issues we face is now producing small, small fishes for those that will go to the table size. Now, most of the issues we face is we supply to long distance. We have customers in long distance, such as in the north, Kano, Sokoto, and the like. And the funny thing is, the driver you'll be using, what he cares about is this man has given me my money, let me just go and deliver. He does not know anything about your fish or anything. Sometimes you have to like follow the driver. Do you understand? So now most of the issue we encounter is I think we've had one order like that we lost almost all the fishes I sent to Kano.
Wow.
Why? Because of change of temperature. The driver I gave my fish was not able to change water for me. And we already had an agreement that so logistics is actually a very, very important distance. So it's either you invest in your own logistics or have somebody that will be constant, that this person is for you knows it's just as if you are doing the business together in order to supply your goods to where you want them.
Okay. For the matter of storage and I think it is always very, very important. For me, I do not have so much of an issue for storage because how do I say it? What I'm producing is it fast at this stage for me. I have a community of people that are ready to consume and harvest. So this is onions. The rate of consumption is higher than in tomatoes. And onions can still stay a very long time. Once the onions are secured, that's a longer shelf life as compared to that tomato. So if you harvest a tomato today, 1 week, 2 weeks, you don't go. But onions can still stay properly cured, can still stay up to 3, 4 months. So I really do not have so much of an issue concerning those harvests. But it's not like I've not had issues before. The issues that I've had was I think there was a time that there was no proper sun for a few days, then we had some few rottings and all. So that's and no man, this is a break. You are used to failure in a way. There are so many things that you don't even plan for that will come your way. So post harvest is very important. I know they will have more to say. But as regards logistics, as I said the other time, if you all say this thing as a business, it's hard. There are some people that all they do in their life is logistics. There are some companies that they are logistic companies. Some of the times we feel that we can run this thing ourselves. But I just feel that sometimes just outsource. Sometimes you look at the cost, what it will cost you to lose everything. It's better to do that outsource to a professional. And this is more like a call to anybody that is finding the value chain to key into in the agri sector. Logistics is a problem for most of us. Most of us don't have reliable farmers. People don't know where to run to. So if you take it upon yourself that I want to start a logistic company, most likely get a cold truck, then help people move their produce from their farm to the market or markets to customers place. I feel is what most people will buy into. So for me personally, growing onions, I really do not have a lot of market issues like that. To have if it's close time, I dry my thing and keep it. Don't get expensive, I carry my thing out. So it's not so much on my own side.
It seems onions is the savior one.
For someone who runs habanero, something that easily gets spoiled, what do you
Yeah.
have to say?
Then it has become like logistics is a major challenge for us. That we will like, and it has now become a norm, kind of like a norm in the pepper industry. And how I try to reduce the stress, the logistics stress and all that is that I make arrangements with like a logistics company and come to an agreement and I let them know that okay, this is what I want. Part of the deal is don't stack load on top of my pepper.
Yes.
Because some drivers, they want money.
Yeah.
And once you just give them the load, pay and you go, maybe you have other things doing.
Those who can
You see, before they'll just carry another load, put it on top of your paper like this. Before it gets to the customers, everything are already getting bad, some broken and stuff like that. So part of the arrangement is don't stack load. If I'm going to pay for this, if you are charging me for this, charge me and let my customers get the best. You understand? So it's a major challenge, and um, the solution is from the government because bad roads.
Yeah.
Bad roads is another challenge in logistic space. Let me use that word. Bad roads. The bus or the some logistic, yeah, the vehicles that are not even okay to even transport. Sometimes you might just think that okay, your produce is already on its way to the customers, and then you get a call that oh, oga, my car break down. Oh, you know, if you carry your pepper today, it will be tomorrow. You will receive them tomorrow. Even the tomorrow itself is not. So it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's something that we are facing in the pepper industry, and hopefully we hope that solution will come, help will come. And this is also a call to beg the government as well that they should try and see how the roads can be done. And if possible, I know this one is it's possible, but if it's possible that we can get some train stations working as well, so that will also help reduce post harvest losses because it's much in the
Do you think farmers have control over pricing in the future of price, or is the market system designed for someone else to benefit more from? Please, we'll start with the tomatoes farmer.
Actually, farmers currently now in country where we find ourselves, farmer has no control over price.
Hmm.
Because if you want to say I want to sell at this particular price, you will end up running out of business. Or right before your eyes, your produce or your product goes to waste. But when we have infrastructures in place where you have the options, then we can have control over pricing. Like if you are not buying at this price, and process it into a finished goods. Or we have a situation where like I said, infrastructures is in place where individuals can come to our aid and say, okay, I want to set up this facility or an organization. They need job in the market, like probably the export market. If export market, it will reduce the price control because by the time you tell me you are buying my tomato for 500 naira and have a market where they are buying it for 700 or 800 naira, I will tell you no. Then you will increase your buying power, your price. But when you are telling me 500, or we are negotiating 800, and the next thing one tomato for just comes in.
Yeah.
I'll be the one begging you, sir, give me 400. Because I don't have anything to do with the tomatoes, no where to store it.
Yeah.
Yes.
No means of converting to a finished goods like process it to paste, nothing like that. But if there are these things in place, like I won't even be begging you in the first place. So currently now, with what we have on ground, we don't have control over pricing as a
But,
farmer.
but I feel like, because there's a saying, they used to say it in Yoruba, but the way they say it is, when you have one broom, you can break it. But when the broom is together, it's not easy for it to break. So what I'm trying to drive at is, back from where I came from, is a farm cluster. So now, the way we control this issue is, the whole cluster, okay, assuming we are selling this fish now for 15 naira. The rule they will give is, you must only sell at that 15 naira. Or if you can even sell at 200 naira, 100 naira, now you get wahala. But if you now sell below that 15 naira,
Okay.
there's a body that will find you. And so I think when farmers come in like clusters, they are able to control pricing.
I don't think there's something like that in the pepper industry. I won't even lie, because and I think you can also relate as a tomato farmer. If you are going to sell your produce like to a very big market, I don't want to mention the name. There's this popular market in Lagos, and today you can hear that okay, pepper is, for example, 4,000 naira per kg, and you are happy, and you be like, okay, let me harvest, and you harvest tomorrow, you take it to that same market, and they will tell you, Oga, price drop this morning, price don't drop now, 3,000 or 2,000 sales they sell, and like it's everywhere they are selling at that price, and you have no other option than to just sell. Or if like there is a processing facilities in place, like maybe a storage room or like a cold room where you can be like, okay, since you are doing all this, when you people need pepper, I'll bring my own pepper and I'll not sell at my own rate. I feel that that would help. And what you said is actually good, but I don't think it's possible, but it's very, very hard in like, let's say tomatoes, and because there are people bringing their produce from Jos, people bringing their produce from Zaria. There's even Ghana tomatoes. People bringing their tomatoes from Ghana, you get, and they are not coming with 1 kg or 2 kg. They are coming with like, do you understand? They are coming with their load that is going to like, the whole price will just come down. And you guys, you have maybe 100 kg to come and say, you have nothing that to just sell. So that's another challenge that we face as well.
So as regards pricing, at first, I like the idea of the regulated bodies. I feel it's possible. It's
Yeah.
just hard.
Yeah.
But one thing I want us to know is that let's forget about farm. Let's talk about market.
Okay.
If you carry your produce to the market and you are the only one that have it, there's high demand,
Yeah.
you will increase your price.
Yes.
Sure. If you get to the market and plenty people have it, because you want to sell, you will reduce your price. And that is just basic law of economics.
Yeah.
The higher the quantity, the lower the price. So it is just basic for market. To really say you want to control it needs some special technicality. People that farm cucumbers and people that farm tomatoes, you carry your tomatoes to the market. It is not wise to carry it back. When do you even want to carry it back?
Exactly.
If you see many tomatoes in the market and you see that the price is not favorable, you will just sell. There's nothing you can do. One way that I feel that we can make this thing favorable to us is number one, this regulatory body. It's achievable if you have a farming cluster and the market, no, now there are bodies in the market now that ensures that price is regulated. That is fine, because sometimes some middlemen will just intentionally, just because of blood, just decide to
Crash it
Crash
down.
it.
so if there are regulatory bodies, you can source that. Another way is if you find your market ahead and you sign an agreement with an off-taker. With that, it can beat it. There's restaurants that you go to that you are farming tomatoes and farming onions. You meet them. I can supply you 5 kg of onions every day for the next 2 years. That is how sometimes to beat the market. So all you just have to do on your own is to make your production is going well and you supply them. With that, price is regulated.
Yeah.
What if there is a body that you know, like there's a market that you know, maybe a supermarket, you have met with all the supermarkets, you know, you sell out. What if I give this to you every day for this so time? For your hand, you have regulated the price. So the challenge that we used to have is that all of us, our go-to is always local market. There are some people that do as much as post dated check or something like that, that you pay in advance. Like you sign a check that this money will be credited to your account in the next. So that those are small measures that you can take to control the price.
So the next question says, what can farmers do to earn more?
Okay. If I'll start with this, I'll just say simply, just let us forget about agriculture. Let's say agribusiness. Take it as a business. And the aim of business is to make profit
Yes.
and you have to make sales. So from the time you are making your plans of production, reason it as a business. Where is my market? How am I going to sell? How will I move my produce to the market? Logistics, marketing. Am I doing social media marketing? What if I start posting today? Like before I start my production, I start pushing it online. So when it's time, people are aware that I have something. I go around before I start production, go to restaurants, you're farming tomato, you're farming onions. Can I supply you this? So before you start, have a business mindset. You should not be looking for how to make money when your produce is ready. Before you plant, start taking it out. So I feel if you go through that measures,
I also feel our farmers should invest in knowledge and connect. In the sense that most of these farmers, like you said, marketing on social media. For example, even before I like really dive into the catfish industry, I made money from social media by just advertising them at the hand say, oh, I know they cheat farmer, you understand? Because I already know as a middleman at that stage. Now the other thing is the term connect I mean is our farmers they don't go out. You know, we have stuff like seminars, exhibition, even from this like from going out, you can meet people that are interested in buying your product. So you have to have knowledge and you have to also connect with, try and connect with people. Don't rely only on the middleman. I think that would actually solve the issue.
I think there's a thing that I think one of the things I want the next person talking or anyone that wants to talk about should elaborate on is that we want farmers to stop being at the mercy of the middlemen, the people buying from us, the people like reselling from us. So how do they like avoid that?
For farmers to stop being at the mercy of middlemen, like my boss have said, you have to see farming as a business. There's one between agriculture and agribusiness. So many farmers are practicing agriculture and not agribusiness. Agriculture cannot make you rich, but agribusiness will. As a farmer, you have to see what you are doing as a business and treat it as one. Like in advanced world, in the Western world, for you see farmers, they produce milk, own the cattle, milk the cattle, process it, and sell as finished goods. They come as close. Okay, I cannot afford the machine that will process onions or the machine that will process tomatoes. We partner together. How can we get the machine that will do both? So we are no longer waiting for the middleman. Now, how do we package it, preserve it for the final consumer? If either we turn it to the powder form, or we say, okay, let's come together as let's meal.
Value addition.
Like in noodles it wasn't made noodles. I believe it's a finish. So we can ask, okay, let's come to you have your onions, you have your banana, you have my tomato. Combine all together, it becomes a stew. Every household consumes stews. So we can say, okay, let's use this thing, turn it to a finished goods.
now put fish on top.
Exactly. Yeah, it makes sense. Imagine you taking 5 hours to cook stew, blend your tomato, sauce for your onion, sauce for your fish. Now you just within the 5 minutes, you just warm and you are done. You are done for that day. You as a banker or going through stress as a nursing mother, you have had that stress. So if we see ourselves as not an enemy, but as friends, in the same industry, although we're not doing the same thing. Because the thing is, we farmers, we don't say, I'm doing tomato, is into onions, it's no fish. We are not related, so why should I be partnering with this kind of person?
Yeah.
So if we come together and see ourselves like, yes, we need to come together and partner together. Let's do this thing. We always be at the mercy of the middleman. My mentor will always say, in we should call like in diversification with fraud. We should come together. He has always been talking about cluster farming.
Yes.
He has always been talking as if we want to grow as a farmer, we have to go into cluster farming. But so many of us, we just feel like when we go into cluster farming, we feel like we are being cheated.
Yeah.
Or I don't just know, Sha, when we go into cluster
Even
farming,
once we go into
it will
cluster,
benefit him because he's doing more than I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and maybe when expenses come in, we both share the same cost. So for that reason, it's not profitable to me. I cannot. But if you see it in a true,
Nice.
look in a true way, as in look at it very well, you discover that the solution to this is cluster farming.
Yeah.
All of us are sitting here now, food don't set.
sure.
If you had the right summer to eat, you already cook your meal without even going to the market to get the rice, going to the market to get the fish. All we just need is somebody that will get in somebody, a chef that will process everything to a finished stew. We get the device or the innovation that will make it into last visit, and we are done.
To see farming as business.
Mm.
That you are not just, doing production, or you are just growing crops or rearing fish because you want to, or there's money, or you heard that, this person is making money. You need to actually see it as a business. You need to see it as a business. It means that you need to start making plans ahead, even before you even start the production cycle. To make plans, sell, promote yourself, advertise, do media marketing. Your customer might just be watching your videos, like just be see, this pepper is nice, this tomato is looking very fresh. I will get like that, and you start, find a way to cut this middleman out. And another thing is, farmers should always think of how they can process their produce, because we are battling with a lot of things: pest, disease, middlemen, risk, uncertainties, flood. You can just be sitting down and one thing will just come and everything is gone. You understand? So we need to start looking at how can we process our produce. Like what I do now. So what I do is, if I don't have like a market, which is I hardly have a market, but if I don't have, I actually process my habaneros into dehydrated powdered form. So that way it increase the shelf life, and I can also sell to people, like to my customers, if they need the powdered form. So farmers need to actually start thinking about things like that, value addition products. So I think that's the best way farmers can actually start earning more and getting more profit.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a very profound session so far. Thank you to Farmer Innocent, RSD, Osas, and the Onion Farmer. I guess our listeners have been able to gain knowledge and learn one or two things on how to apply it to their personal selves. You don't just go into production. You have to see whatever you are doing as a business. That's very, very important. And then you'll be able to scale through the stress of the middleman, Wala, and the market issue. So we'll be putting our speakers' social media handle on the screen. We'd like you to follow them, engage in their page to be able to learn more about what they do. And then if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, we'd like you to subscribe, like, and drop a comment. If you also have a question, you can also drop it in the comment section. We'll follow up with you from there. Thank you very much.